Hello, my friends. This is Stephanie Rittermont, and I'm the president of Courageous Living, a life coaching business. And my passion in life is to help my clients maximize the gifts and talents within them to go further and farther than they ever thought possible. And so today what I want to share with you is 5 ways that you can encourage yourself. They're not things that you have to go out and purchase or read 100 books. They're very simple things that I think that we overlook at times because we might get lost in the situation or the circumstances going on around us. So one of the things I want to say about encouragement, it reminds me of a story in the Bible about David. Now, it's not David and Goliath, even though there was a lot of information in that particular story. So with the story of David is that he and other men went out to battle. He was a warrior at that time, known to be a warrior. And he took some men with him, they went to battle. But when they went to battle, they had to leave their family, they had to leave their possessions behind. And when they came back from battle, they realized that their wives, their children, all their belongings had been taken away. The children and the wives had been kidnapped, their family members had been kidnapped, and now they had nothing. And they're looking at David kind of like, we went to battle for you, and now we came back and everyone's gone. Our family's been kidnapped. And they kind of had that look like, you're going to pay a price for this. But what David did is so key for all of us. First thing it says is he asked himself, soul, why are you downcast? See, he knew that he was down. He sensed it in his gut, in his spirit, and in his soul. He knew he was down. And he asked himself, why are you down? There were times when my kids, as they were growing up, they would be kind of sad about something. And I'd say, well, why? And why are you sad? They go, well, I don't know. And I said, well, ask yourself. So the first thing is on the path to encouragement, is ask yourself, why are you down? And the next thing it says that he did is that he encouraged himself in the Lord. And the word picture is that he basically took him by himself by the back of the neck and had to pull himself up. You see, there's times when we have to encourage ourselves. We can't rely on family and friends to do it, not because they're not capable, but because, listen, we all are busy. And not all of us are in tune to what people are saying or the tone that they're saying things in or reading between the lines. And so we have to do it. So the first thing I want to say is with your phone is take pictures of quotes. So if you see quotes on Instagram or on Facebook or Twitter or any of the other social media platforms, take that picture on your phone, and then in your photos, maybe have a folder that just says, positive quotes or uplifting quotes. And put that in there. Or when you come across, maybe it's scriptures or phrases that you've heard, put them in there. And then that way, when you are feeling like, I need to lift myself up, I need to encourage myself, go to that folder and pull up that. Maybe make it a screensaver. My son likes to take scriptures at times that are meaningful to him at maybe a certain time of his life, and he'll put that on his phone as a screensaver. So when he opens up his phone, there's that scripture, there's that encouraging thought. So when he starts out his day, it's right there. It's important to have that available because we have our phones. And instead of always texting, we now can use our phone as a way to encourage us. And I have a couple other ways I'm going to show you how to do that. And the other thing to do is, you don't probably hear people doing this that much anymore, is FaceTime. You might think, well, why would I want to FaceTime? Well, how does that encourage me? Well, when we interact with other people, it actually builds us up. That's why when you go out with friends, when you get together with some close friends, you come back and you feel energized and revived and refreshed because it does something in our bodies. It's kind of like it just recharges us. And so using FaceTime is another way you can encourage yourself because one, you're reaching out to somebody else. Maybe you have a loved one right now that what they call a shut-in, where they can't go out, they can't get their own groceries, and people have to come to them all the time. Well, you know what? When you teach them how to use the simple technology ways of FaceTime, you have a way to encourage them, and that circles back and encourages you. You reap what you sow, and you will reap that encouragement back. The other night, I decided that, my daughter lives in another city, and so my son and I were having dinner, and I texted her like 20 minutes before, and I said, hey, would you want to have dinner with us by FaceTime? And thank goodness she said yes. And I was pleasantly surprised because she actually had her bowl of food with her. We had our food, and we had a good, probably 40, 50 minutes of good just discussions going back and forth. But it was nice for us to connect back as a family because we always had dinner time together. But once the kids get older and they're going off to college, sports gets in the way a lot of the times. Our family time was getting pulled at. And now I found a way that we can do this. And you can do that with someone. You know, maybe it's a grandma and grandpa and getting everyone together and go on FaceTime and talk, and you could just see them, not just texting all the time. The other thing that I love, I've been reading this book called High Performance Habits, and it's about high performance leaders. And one of the things it mentions in this book, among many things, is that a lot of time a high performance leader, they always are thinking about how they're going to transition from maybe a very tough meeting and transition into another meeting or another part of their day. And they're very mindful of that. They have to transition. They're very mindful that this meeting ended and whatever happened in that, I can't take that with me into this meeting or the rest of the day, whether it was good or bad. And so a lot of times you hear where people, before they get out of their car and they come home from work, they'll just kind of decompress. They'll just take a few moments to kind of clear their mind. And a high performance leader, what they do is they transition. They say, how am I going to transition from this day into my family life? How am I going to transition from a busy day and spend time with my family? It's a purposeful mindset. It's intentional to be able to say to yourself, how am I going to transition? On that note, another thing that they do is that they will put like positive quotes on their calendars. And so another way to use your phone is to, in your appointments, in your calendars, put appointments in there that are reoccurring, that have a quote in there that's a favorite phrase of yours. Like mine is called Bring the Joy. That's my phrase right now, Bring the Joy. So at 9 and 3 o'clock, my phone is set. When that appointment comes up at 9 o'clock, I have a certain ringtone to it. And when I hear it, I know, bring the joy. That's my quote for the day. That's my quote for the moment, bring the joy. In fact, even my son, now I've got him trained. So when we both hear that quote or that ringer, I'll say, what is it going to say? And he goes, bring the joy. A friend of mine, she's an entrepreneur, so she spends a lot of time working out of her home by herself. And she has I don't know how many times a day she has it, but hers will come up and say, be present. Or it'll say, are you present? And her grandchildren now, when they hear that certain ringtone, they'll say, Grandma, are you present? So she's even has people trained around, even if I'm with her and we're out and we're having a meeting, I'll hear it, I'll ask her, are you present? Because it's a reminder for her to be present in the moment. Because it's easy to go down all these different trails in the busyness of life. And so she has it set up so it says, are you present? It's a reminder. It's an encouraging word for her. So use your phone, maybe your work calendar, have things throughout the day that are just a positive thing that pop up so you get to see it. No one else has to know what it's about. The thing is, if your Fitbit reminds you that you've been sitting too long and you need to get up and move, it's the same thing with your calendar and your phone calendar. It's a reminder of something special about you, a word to encourage you. So use your phone. Instead of just use it for texting, use it as a way to encourage you. The other thing I want to talk about is gratitude. You know, we hear a lot about being thankful and gratitude. When we are using gratitude in our life, it really changes us on the inside out. You know, when we are bogged down with the stresses or maybe unforgiveness or anger, it takes a toll on us. Mentally, it takes a toll on us physically. Health-wise, it takes a toll on us. But it is proven that when we are operating in gratitude, there's a change that takes place in our body and in our mindset. I'm one of those moms that loves to make my kids lunches. I've always loved it. It's like my way to just put a stamp on their day, put a encouraging note in their lunch, and off they go. Well, my daughter now is off to college, and so my son is still at home. And so about a few months ago, I decided, you know, I'm going to really implement gratitude. I was already writing things down in a journal, but I really wanted to speak it out. And so as I was making his lunch, I was just being very thankful about the things that I was thankful that I had a wonderful son. I was thankful that I had the food to provide to him. I was thankful that I had 4 walls and a roof over my house. I was thankful for the car in the garage that was going to take me to my job. I was thankful for my job. Before I knew it, I had like 50 things that I was grateful for. By the time I left for work, I really felt lighter. And I thought, you know, there really is something about even just speaking it out, your gratitude, your thankfulness. It really does change your mindset. The other thing you can do is a gratitude journal or a thankful journal. You can do it with a 3-ring binder. You can use a journal. However, don't overdo it. Don't overcomplicate it. And just every day, maybe morning and at night, write 3 things down that you're grateful for, that you're thankful for. And the more you do that, you might start out saying, well, I'm just thankful to be alive. Well, sometimes I feel that way just because. But you know what? The more you do it, you will start, before you even writing it down, your brain's going to automatically be going into a mode of, what are we thankful for? What are we grateful for? What happened today that we're grateful for? And you'll start noticing even the small things that you're grateful for. Maybe the person that, when you're going to the grocery line and the clerk was asking about your day. How are you doing today? Or maybe just someone smiled at you and it was a genuine smile that they really cared. So start writing things down that you're grateful for. Just 3 things in the morning and at night, or just maybe once a day. And you will find that that's another way that's going to encourage you, because you're going to be grateful not only for the big things that happen, but you're going to be very mindful for the things that cross your path every single day that you can be grateful for. And lastly, laughter. The Bible says a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. And laughter is contagious. And when we are laughing, have you ever noticed when someone's laughing and you may not even get the joke, but all of a sudden, because everyone's laughing, you start to laugh? Have you ever watched children when they kind of start out with a small laughter and the next thing you know, it builds and builds and builds and it gets into that belly laugh? When we have laughter, another medical proven thing is laughter has such a powerful influence on our body, a positive influence on our health and our mindset. And so, you might have to say, well, what if I'm not a person that's around people that make me laugh? Well, you know what? There's actually an app that you can get on your phone, the Laugh app. Now, if you want to do that so you can hear it and that gets you kind of going, that's fine, whatever it takes. Your brain does not know if it's a fake laugh or a real laugh. It just recognizes the way the body's responding when you're laughing. So, if you start out with kind of a fake laugh, ha ha ha, and the next thing you know, you might, it'll go into that belly laugh or that full laugh where you feel good about yourself. You feel good that you laughed. It's like going out with friends and you laugh and laugh and laugh. Again, it's another way to revive us and refresh us. When I went through my divorce, it'll be almost 12 years ago. And I knew that it was going to be a very hard time because there was a lot of things that were impacted by it. And I knew that I was going to be struggling with some of the rejection and just the heaviness of it. It's just a hard thing to go through. And so I made a very conscious effort. There were a couple of ladies that I'd heard speak at a conference years before, Patsy Claremont and Shonda Pierce. And they are hilarious. They have a message, but they fill it with their stories, and you're just laughing and you're laughing at them, you're laughing at yourself because the stories are so real. And I would put in their DVDs and just put them in just so that I could feel good. I just wanted to laugh. I just wanted to get away from the situation and just, take a time to refresh. And you might have to do that. Maybe there's a good comedian out there that you like. You know what? Buy some of their CDs or their DVDs and play them. Just whatever it takes for you. Another thing you can do is, if your children are really young and you catch them laughing and giggling, record it. Or if your grandchildren are laughing about something, record it. Because then you can play it back on your phone, and it's going to not only bring back a memory, but it's going to bring back a smile to your face, and it's also going to help you to laugh. So my friends, I hope this video provided you with just some simple ways to encourage yourself. Maybe you just need a pick-me-up. So remember, don't be afraid to ask yourself why you might be feeling sad or why you might be feeling down. And remember, you have to encourage yourself. How do you do that? With the gratitude journal, FaceTiming someone, having positive pictures of quotes of scriptures that you can put on your phone, having positive reminders that you can have come up during the day, bring the joy or are you present with a specific ringtone, and then laughter, finding ways to laugh. So my friends, until next time, continue to be curious, live that courageous life, and don't forget to encourage yourself. Until next time, have a blessed day.